All right, friends. Well, it's showtime. Who's ready for a show? Look, y'all are in for a super treat. This is a super talented individual who's just has so much to share with all of y'all. Y'all are going to be thoroughly impressed and have a great time. So please, Comic-Con South Africa, please give a nice warm welcome to the one and only Misha Collins.
I love this.
Isn't it crazy that little TV show from America is so popular here?
How was South Africa, Misha? Well, it was fine, but my hearing is damaged. I feel like I just jumped out of an electronic cake. That was quite an entrance. A lot of smoke. Is there a fire? Is there something we should be worried about? Oh my God, you're ridiculous. This is, I have to say, I do a lot of conventions these days because I'm washed up and I don't have any acting work. And don't talk about Misha that way. I don't talk about myself in the third person, so I'm not Donald Trump. So I do a lot of conventions, and I'll be honest with you, I can get a little bit like, it's kind of a slog. I don't really want to do that. But I have this like childish excitement about being here in South Africa. This is my first time in Africa at all, my first time in South Africa. I've wanted to come here for my entire life, so I'm very, very excited to be here. I sincerely hope that you don't disappoint me. And I bought my clothing at the airport because my bag still hasn't arrived. So
mine was confiscated.
This is South African attire. I have South African bicycle socks. And I should probably stop rambling. We can talk about more important things than my wardrobe. Elliot, what are we talking about? Why are we here?
It's Comic-Con South Africa.
Why have you brought all of these people here today?
We brought them here because they wanted to learn a little bit about you. Like, how did you get started?
Well, they're welcome to Google me if they want to find out.
It's more. It means more.
This is very low tech. There's a much quicker way to get this information. You guys didn't have to come here to find that out. All right, what is your question again?
How'd you get started? Like, how'd you get started in acting?
How did I get started in acting? Well, I don't really know. I had a penchant for doing weird accents when I was a kid, and that then parlayed itself into like friends being like, you're kind of good at that. You should probably like try to, do some acting. So I did a few plays, and then I found that I kind of liked it. And then, actually, I'll just tell you my whole life story. And then I wanted to do something like political with my life. I wanted to make a contribution somehow, and I thought the best way to do that might be to go into politics. So I finished college, and I studied politics in school, and then I was planning to go to law school, and I interned at the White House, and I worked at National Public Radio in Washington, D.C. And when I was interning at the White House, I was like, oh, fuck. This is awful. I think I have to come up with a new plan. So then I had this hubris, this idea. It was like, oh, well, I should just do what Ronald Reagan did, which is not, I don't want to be like Ronald Reagan, but get famous so that then I can use that to, have a positive impact in the world, which is like only somebody who has a totally megalomaniacal ego would think that that would be possible, but luckily I do. So that's sort of like why I got into acting. And then I got out to LA and started acting, and I realized, oh, this is really hard, and nobody wants to hire me. So it took a while for me to get like on a show that anybody recognized and all that. But that was my journey, sort of.
So speaking of your journey into acting, what gig got you your SAG-AFTRA card?
Do you guys know what a SAG-AFTRA card is? Raise your hand if you do know what a SAG-AFTRA card. Oh, so 7 of you do.
Yeah.
So SAG is the Screen Actors Guild. It's the union that we actors in television and film have to belong to in order to be on screen. And it's a really hard thing to get into the union. Usually, in order to get into the union, get your SAG card.
You have to be in the union.
You have to be in the union to get on a union show, but you have to get on a union show to be in the union. So it's like this incredibly difficult thing. And really the only way to get in the union is to give the right person a blowjob. So
So it's a very personal story.
So cool. Yeah. You know what? Honestly, I think I did an industrial, which is like a training video for the U.S. Navy when I was just a pipsqueak. I was like, I wasn't a pipsqueak. I was 24, but I hadn't gone through puberty yet. So like I had this squeaky voice and like baby face. And I think that was the thing that got me. And it was like the Navy, a film production has to pay extra if they hire somebody who's not union, and then they have to get them in the union. And the U.S. Navy has nothing but money. So they were like, I don't care, fine, we'll do it. We'll pay for this little pipsqueak.
So technically now when you run for office as president, you have military service under your belt.
That's exactly right. Yep.
Or as much as the current president.
Yep. Yeah.
So you said you were good at accents. How's your South African accent?
Sucks. It sucks. It's funny because I can do like I can do accents like I do a very good Indian accent or Russian. Now, I have recently been told, no. I have been told it is very bad that it is quite a racist thing to do, so I will not do that. But the like relatively easy accents like Australian and South African, I suck at. So, fuck it. I don't
You just
know.
have to learn the word. My favorite word they use is when they say the word here. It's cheer.
What?
Right here. We're right here.
Right here.
Cheer.
Here. Okay. I guess I'll watch more Elon Musk videos and figure it out.
No.
I love Elon Musk. This is how to get like stoned. Suddenly, Rotten Tomatoes are thrown at the stage. It's cool.
Which we learned yesterday from the sign language. This is tomato.
What's tomato?
Tomato.
Tomato.
Yeah.
Ah.
So the fact you said it, I got
Tomato.
to see you use it again.
That's also cup the balls.
Or, pulling the heart from Kalima and Temple of Doom. So you auditioned for this little show called Supernatural, which people have heard of. Clearly, they'd like to talk a little bit about it.
Okay. Hey, ass butt.
So, had you seen the show before you auditioned for it?
No, but I'd seen the advertisements for the show on bus stations, bus stops. They have like little posters to advertise the show. And I remember distinctly, there was a bus stop near my house in LA. And I was walking by one morning, and I saw Jared and Jensen, Sam and Dean, on a poster on the bus stop, and I remember thinking to myself, my God, if those meatheads can get a job, certainly. I had no idea what the show was about, didn't care. I got cast as a guest star, which I had done a bunch of guest star roles at that time. So I thought, whatever, I'll just go do an episode, get my medical insurance, and then 12 years later, I finished my run on Supernatural. Yeah. I cannot believe, the show's been off the air for 5 years. You know that, right? What's that? Reruns. Do you actually have it? Is it on television in South Africa? So you're not just watching it on Netflix, it's on like some sort of...
It's not on Netflix here.
Can you guys get organized? Just one of you talk. Where do you... Yes, ma'am. It's on Prime? Amazon Prime. Is that where you all watch it? Well, thank you, Jeff Bezos. So is that it? It was never broadcast on like regular... It was. So you gave an incomplete answer. Yeah, okay. You're not that old. You're not so old that you watched broadcast television. Shit, that makes me feel so fucking old. We were still dialing the rotary phone. With the,
so you had an answering machine when you started acting.
How old are you? How old are you? No, it's not a long story. Just, how old are you? You're 22. Oh my God. Okay, so
2000.
When this woman was born, Supernatural, you were 3 years old when Supernatural started. So did you start watching when it first came on? I meet people all the time. They'll come up at I'm signing at autographs or something, and someone will come up with their kid, and they'll be like, "You're little Timmy's favorite character," and little Timmy is 6 years old. And I'm like, you should have your parenting license revoked. This poor child. That's got to be a lifelong trauma. Watching Supernatural at age 6? That happened to you? Where are your parents? This is an intervention. What did you do to that poor child? Oh, okay, you're a sister. Okay, but you're a sister parent, sort of. You got pointed at, so you got blamed. You started it. Okay, well, you're an irresponsible sister at the very least, yeah. God. All right, well, I guess it's good. We start them young. Get them addicted. Yeah, okay.
When did you go from guest star to series regular? When did that happen?
That happened in season 4, sort of later on in the season. I think maybe I'd done about 10 episodes where they kept on saying, hey, can you do a couple more? Can you do a couple more? And I called Eric Kripke, who is the showrunner, who also did The Boys. Jesse, who played A-Train on The Boys, is here, and he's awesome. So you should go get a photo with him. But I called Eric, and I was like, "Hey, Eric, I'm loving being on Supernatural. It's super fun. I would love to keep doing it, but you kind of have to make me a series regular if I'm going to come back next year, because I have a lot of people are asking me to be a series regular," which was a lie. And he was like, "Okay, I think that sounds like a good idea," and he made me a series regular. So it was just one manipulative phone call got me the job. Yeah.
Well, I bet that's what the industry is. It's a lot of manipulation to
That's
make
right.
sure that you get to keep coming to work every day.
Yeah.
So who is the most important person on set that you get to know on that first day?
You mean in general?
Yeah, like when you show up, who's the first person that you're going to make sure that you know?
The set medic. Because they have your life in their hands. I think that there's good conventional wisdom in befriending the cinematographer and the camera operator and like having a line of communication with them, because they can, if they like you, they can be like, hey, just so you know, you might want to like, not do that with your chin because it makes you look fat or whatever. But that's like, I think, conventional wisdom. And I think that that's sort of true, but it's actually, I think, a little bit more nefarious than that. I think that when you get on set, if you're a guest star and you first get on a TV set, you actually want to get to know the stars of the show and befriend them, because they have so much power on the show. And like I watched this happen several times on shows that I was working on. Female stars who were threatened by female guest stars they were like, well, she's younger or hotter than me. They would be like, she's not coming back. And the same thing with like stars that had, shows that had good-looking, male leads on them. They were like, I don't want that young guy competing with me. And they would be like, I don't want him back again. So you kind of have to like get in the good graces of those people, which is a little bit, people don't realize that. I think people think that the directors are really like in control on a television set, but directors are also kind of like guest stars. And if an actor doesn't like a director, one of the stars doesn't like a director, they can have them not brought back again. So it's you have to sort of kiss the ring a little bit with the stars of the show. And as soon as I became a series regular on Supernatural, I made sure that everybody sucked up to me.
I was just saying, were there some younger, hotter people that showed up on set that you're like, get them out of here?
Well, no. That's ridiculous. Can you imagine what an Adonis that would have had to be?
So, who were some of your favorite people that you worked with on that show? Like, who were your the people you cut up with?
Well, not Jared and Jensen. There were a few people that came on the show, and I was just like right away. I was like, oh, I like them. Ruth Connell, Rob Benedict, Richard Spate, Felicia Day. There's certain people that as soon as I met them, I was like, Rob Benedict particularly. He started on, I believe he started in season 5. I was like still sort of new on the show, but he was the first guest star that came on that I was like, hey, do you want to go out and get some sushi after? Like, let's hang out. I liked him right away. It's kind of a just chemistry thing. Like some people you just gel with, We have, Supernatural has this convention circuit that we do, and there's like a core group of us that do most of the conventions, and they're not necessarily the actors. I mean, the actors that you really know the best from the show are definitely on this circuit, but there are a lot of actors who only did a handful of episodes who end up going from convention to convention with us, and it's just because we all like each other, and we just got along, and they just sort of somehow felt like part of the family. Yeah, there's something ineffable about it, but
it's the getting to hang out with your friends on a road trip, basically.
Yeah, and then eventually you get sick of them.
Then you take a couple months off, and then you look at your bank account, and it's like, let's go on tour again. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
So, is there any advice that you were given in your career that just really hit home that you really took to heart?
Just find the right person to blow. No. Oh my God, I'm sorry, everyone. You deserve better. It's so inappropriate. I don't know if how much good advice I got. I got a lot of advice along the way. Like, if you stare at a light and don't blink, it'll make you tear up. so you can appear to be an actor. What other advice did I get? I will tell you that the tone that we had on the set of Supernatural was really a great environment. From when I first got on the show, the very first moment I got on the show, a driver picked me up at the airport and handed me this binder, a 3-ring binder, and I opened it up and you flip through the pages and it was like, here are restaurants in Vancouver that you might enjoy or sights to see, and it was like this very thoughtful package that went into making this little guest star feel like welcomed and supported there. And then when I got to set, Jared and Jensen and Jim Beaver, who was there, they were all friendly and talked to me and made me feel welcome. And the crew did the same thing. And we were all, the crew and the cast were all very respectful of one another and treated one another kind of like family over the years. And that was actually really awesome and is not how most TV sets are. And so I learned from that experience. We went out for dinner with Tom Welling, who had been Superman in Smallville. And Tom Welling had taken Jared and Jensen out for dinner as soon as they started their show. And he said, you have to show up for work, you have to know your lines, and you have to treat your crew respectfully. And Jared and Jensen took that to heart and then set that tone on the set. And the president of the network that we were on every year would have a dinner, and he would bring the 3 of us out to this dinner, and he'd bring the other casts of the new shows out to dinner too, and then he'd stand up and he'd make a toast and he'd say, I want you to talk to Jared, Jensen, and Misha, and I want you guys to run your sets the way they do, because a big part of the reason that the show has kept going is because they've created an environment that people can keep working in and stay happy in, and I think I learned a lot from that. So it wasn't so much particular words of advice as just watching by example. But I think that's been important, and it's stuck with me.
That's a really awesome legacy to leave behind, and I'm sure that affected a lot of other shows. So that was great. Now you're leaving your own legacy behind here in South Africa. You're invested in some things that these people may not know about. You told me backstage you made a couple trips around. Tell them about that.
Well, when I first got on Supernatural and then started a Twitter account because the network publicist was like, "Hey, Misha, can you do some tweeting?" And I was like, "What's tweeting?" And so I started a Twitter account. This is back in 2009. And then shortly after that, there was an earthquake in Haiti, and I posted on Twitter. I think I had 30,000 followers or something like that at that point. I posted, hey, we should all donate, and I set up a UNICEF fundraising page. And I woke up the next morning, and there were $30,000 of donations in there, and I was like, holy shit, it's kind of amazing. So I was like, wow, I could really exploit these people. So I started a nonprofit, and we started doing fundraisers for different projects over the years. And one of the things that I raised some money for back in 2017 was this really beautiful story that came to me through my friend Giles. This woman had started a ballet school outside of Cape Town, a couple hours outside of Cape Town in this shanty town. And the kids that went to this little ballet school in the shanty town, kids that were living in abject poverty, she got the kids to come to take ballet classes by offering them peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And they were so hungry that they were like, okay, I'll go do that. And these kids ended up going to Juilliard in New York or on national touring companies. These amazing stories. So back in 2017, the woman that started this, a woman named Fiona, was dying she had terminal cancer. And because she was the one that was connected to all the donors, and she was giving all of her time, she was volunteering all of her time to make this school run, and they would have to hire teachers to replace her, the school was gonna shut down. So she was dying, but she was also heartbroken to see that her dream was going to die with her. And we ended up raising about $250,000, and were able to tell her literally just days before she died that we had raised the money to keep the school going after she passed away. And so it was so awesome for me to get to go see the school 7 years later. And we stopped funding the school about a year and a half ago because it's now funded by the South African government. But the kids are thriving, and they're still sending, like there's the star student of this little school wasn't there when I was there because he's in New York performing. It's just awesome. So it was very cool to see.
But you're here with us all weekend.
I will be here all weekend. You'll be sick of me. Come, I think someone mentioned backstage that the photos had been sold out, but I think we've opened it up. So if you want to come memorialize this occasion, the photo with me, I do not smell great, but I will shower, I promise, between now and tomorrow. So I hope to see you out there. Bye. Thank you. Thank you, South Africa.
Everybody.
Look as good as the day I met you. I forget just why I left you. I was insane. Stay and play that Blink-182 song that we beat to death in Tucson. Okay.